Hello, I'm Julie, and I am going to be talking about my professional development, looking at the ISTE website for my college class assignment. So, ISTE is a professional group for educators and those linked to the education field in whatever aspect they may be linked. So they have a lot of resources on their site, but if you become a member, you can get significantly more resources, support, and similar things. Here are some of the things that you get with the membership. It offers professional learning, virtual coaching, and year-round academies. Helps educators connect to share best practices, solve problems, and community collaboration. Memberships have a support for skill building for teachers and educators to continue to grow professionally. It also has regularly published books and journals, among with blogs and podcasts, and has events and an annual ISTE conference and expo. Due to COVID-19, these are occurring online. So the benefits of joining professional organizations is that you get peer support, and it's peer support within the field that you're working in. You also get resources, professional growth, a lot of times in the way of certifications, trainings, and CPEs, or actual college credits. CPEs are college credit, but in different form. I remember that I did join the Honor Society for Social Workers and the Ethics Social Work groups because it was really beneficial during my college journey. However, I tend not to join groups. So there's definitely benefits to becoming members of professional groups because there really is a lot of support and a lot of resources you can't have access to if you're not a member. I, however, don't like to spend my money that way, so I tend not to join those unless I absolutely have to. So take from that what you will, but there's definitely a lot of benefits to become joined with professional groups. So I'm going to talk about 3 articles, and I'm going to look at a brief overview of what the articles offered information on and how they would benefit the students and what students they would primarily benefit. So the first one is 5 Ways Educators Can Get More Done in Less Time by Nicole Zumpano. And this was focused mainly on how you would divide your time if you were working from home due to COVID, and talking about cognitive overload. So it was talking about the benefits of calendars, email efficiency, planning ahead and making sure to do that in writing, organizing your digital files, and developing a learning routine, and staying connected with your own professional learning. So the learning routine is actually for professional development, for your personal learning as a professional. So how that serves students is, of course, the professional training is always going to serve students and the teacher because you become more advanced and adept at handling things in the classroom and teaching things in the classroom, and so it always benefits students. Another way is preventing the cognitive overload, which helps keep the educator engaged. Managing your time well allows for a separation of work and home life, which is very important, and I think is one of the big ways that people do not manage their self-care or their life very well. You should honestly end your workday at a decent time and not take work home with you. And it's really hard with an educator to do that because there's so much involved. So finding a balance there and making sure you stick with it is very important. The organization of files allows for the quick retrieval of student assignments, and then of course responses to their questions without having to dig around and look everywhere to try to find something if you don't have your files organized. All the students would benefit from an educator reading this article and following its suggestions. So the Top 16 Education Podcast by Jennifer Snelling offers a variety of podcasts educators can listen to and benefit from in their professional development. And of course, it helps students because it allows the educator to remain on top of current trends. Once again, going back to the keeping yourself learning and growing and developing. It can be listened to while working on other things, allowing educators to multitask. We all know that multitasking is actually a myth because you can't actually devote enough time to do something well. However, I feel that listening to a podcast while you are doing other things is very beneficial. And this allows for an educator to take in information and not just be using time reading something or anything like that. And tips and advice can be used and adapted for the educator's classroom. So how you use it in your classroom is based on how you receive it and how you think you can adapt it to work for your students. And of course, all students at all levels would benefit from a teacher reading this article and listening to some of these podcasts. Then the third one is learning, connections, testing, Kurzweil 3000. I don't think I pronounced that right. By Barbara Green and Joan Thorman. And I knew nothing about Kurzweil 3000 before I started looking at this article. It seems pretty impressive. This is based primarily on benefiting students with special needs. And it has things like text-to-speech, voice adjustment, highlighting with different colors, a zoom function, foreign language translation. So it seems like it's a really, really good program for teaching those with special needs or learning disabilities. So, of course, it would help the students because students with speech impediments or difficulty speaking can use the text-to-speech function to communicate with educators and peers. So they don't have to speak. They can type in what they need to say, and it can be played if that's a struggle for them. And each subject can be given a different computerized voice, allowing variety in speech to help students maintain focus. So it's not the same voice talking the entire time. And independent working fosters confidence. And this is obviously going to benefit all students, but it will especially benefit those with special needs. In addition to those with speech impairments or impediments using the text-to-speech to speak, it also helps those that are blind to hear a text, of course, which is a really big help in the classroom or in distance learning. All right, so every year, ISTE offers a conference, and it's going on online. The 2021 conference is actually taking place at the end of June, and I might consider partaking if I can watch it apart from live because I work, so it'd be difficult for me to watch it while it goes on. So the conference for 2020 that I'm going to talk about was held November 29th through December 5th online. And the conference is arranged with different session formats, and they have these really neat icons that help you determine what the format is for the session. So they have listen and learn. So that's essentially like a where they just kind of lecture you. And then all the rest are more hands-on. So they have explore and create, engage and connect, and participate and share. So over 1,800 professionals as presenters were present in the 2021 that I'm talking about, including Jennifer Barth from Google Inc., Kevin Brown from Orange County Department of Education, and Trina Davis from Texas A&M University. There were a lot of presenters across the board. There were people there from Microsoft, PowerSchool. It was pretty impressive. Over 900 different presentations were offered on a variety of topics over the course of the conference. So 3 of the presentations that were offered out of the over 900 was digital tools for writing across the curriculum, presented by Janet Corder and Joan Gore. And it explored activities using technology in order to provide engaging writing student activities. Another one was Youth Voice 2020, presented by Bob Kelly, Belinda Schillingberg, and Teresa Wierzbionska. And it's a creation lab that looked closely at 5 different online media projects, including making their own radio commentary, which I think is brilliant, and I really want to try with my students this next year. Redefining Rituals and Routines, presented by Christine Pinto and Jessica Toomey, addressed daily connections outside the classroom to fortify routines, which essentially works really well with the COVID because of the online classes. So it helps to fortify routines when the students are outside the class. We needed to pick some that we wanted to attend, and these are a few that I picked. I like the other 3, obviously, but Who Cares? Empowering Students to be Agents of Change, presented by Megan Pattenhouse, Mahfuza Rahman, Michelle Strickland, and Melissa Renchi. And it was a panel format where they shared the projects their students created that year that helped the students care for others and develop empathy. Improve reading comprehension online with Immersive Reader and Microsoft Edge, presented by Chris Gerard and Aditya Mahindra, and it was hosted by Microsoft, and it showed how to open online content and use the built-in tools to support students. And then Think, Pair, Share with OneNote, presented by Jennifer Jury and Joy McClure, also hosted by Microsoft, and it showed the out-of-the-box ways to use the OneNote features to capture students' conversations, workflow, and problem-solving strategies. And that is going to wrap up my PowerPoint. And here are the references that I used throughout the PowerPoint. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.